Let's do it. We are reading the Bible, the whole thing, the entire Bible, and the Apocrypha. Yes, the Apocrypha. I've got to find it in non copyrighted public domain form, and we can read that. I'm Reverend Valerie Love, if you're brand new here, divine midwife of soul destiny, practicing Christian witch, and the author of 26 books on practical spirituality, Christian witchcraft, magic, the occult, all of the things. Let's go. Here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Or if it's evening where you are, beautiful night to you. Or if it is afternoon, or whatever time it appears to be, welcome. Time is an illusion. We're reading from the World English Bible. It is a public domain Bible so that we don't have to concern with copyright issues. Genesis chapter 33. Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and with him 400 men. He divided the children between Leah, Rachel, and the two servants. He put the servants and their children in front, Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph at the rear. He himself passed over in front of them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. Esau ran to meet him, embraced him, fell on his neck, kissed him, and they wept. He lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, "Who are these with you?" He said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the servants came near with their children and they bowed themselves. Leah also and her children came near and bowed themselves. After them, Joseph came near with Rachel, and they bowed themselves. Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company which I met?" Jacob said, "To find favor in the sight of my Lord." Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Let that which you have be yours." Jacob said, "Please no. If I have now found favor in your sight, then receive my present at my hand, because I have seen your face as one sees the face of God, and you were pleased with me. Please take the gift that I brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." He urged him, and he took it. Esau said, "Let's take our journey, and let's go, and I will go before you." Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, and that the flocks and herds with me have their young. And if they overdrive them one day, all the flocks will die. Please let my Lord pass over before his servant, and I will lead on gently, according to the pace of the livestock that are before me, and according to the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord to Seir." Esau said, "Let me now leave with you some of the people who are with me." He said, "Why? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord." So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. Jacob traveled to Succoth, built himself a house, and made shelters for his livestock. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. Jacob came in peace to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Paddan Aram, and encamped before the city. He bought the parcel of ground where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. He erected an altar there and called it El Elohe Israel. Footnote to Genesis chapter 33, verse 17. Succoth means shelters or booths. Footnote to Genesis chapter 33, verse 20. El Elohe Israel means God, the God of Israel, or the God of Israel is mighty. Genesis chapter 34. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her. He took her, lay with her, and humbled her. His soul joined to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young lady and spoke kindly to the young lady. Shechem spoke to his father, Hamor, saying, "Give me this young lady as a wife." Now Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, and his sons were with his livestock in the field. Jacob held his peace until they came. Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to talk with him. The sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it. The men were grieved and they were very angry because he had done folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing that ought not to be done. Hamor talked with them, saying, "The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. Make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters for yourselves. You shall dwell with us, and the land will be before you. Live and trade in it, and get possessions in it." Shechem said to her father and to her brothers, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you tell me, I will give. Ask me a great amount for a dowry, and I will give whatever you ask of me. But give me the young lady as a wife." The sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, with deceit when they spoke, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister, and said to them, "We can't do this thing to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that is a reproach to us. Only on this condition will we consent to you. If you will be as we are, that every male of you be circumcised, then will we give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if you will not listen to us and be circumcised, then we will take our sister, and we will be gone." Their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. The young man didn't wait to do this thing because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was honored above all the house of his father. Hamor and Shechem his son came to the gate of their city and talked with the men of their city, saying, "These men are peaceful with us. Therefore, let them live in the land and trade in it. For behold, the land is large enough for them. Let's take their daughters to us for wives, and let's give them our daughters. Only on this condition will the men consent to live with us, to become one people. If every male among us is circumcised, as they are circumcised, won't their livestock and their possessions and all their animals be ours? Also, only let's give our consent to them, and they will dwell with us." All who went out of the gate of his city listened to Hamor, and to Shechem his son, and every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of his city. On the third day, when they were sore, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, each took his sword, came upon the unsuspecting city, and killed all the males. They killed Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went away. Jacob's sons came on the dead and plundered the city because they had defiled their sister. They took their flocks, their herds, their donkeys, that which was in the city, that which was in the field, and all their wealth. They took captive all their little ones and their wives, and took as plunder everything that was in the house. Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have troubled me to make me odious to the inhabitants of the land among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. I am few in number. They will gather themselves together against me and strike me, and I will be destroyed, I and my house." They said, "Should he deal with our sister as with a prostitute?" Footnote to Genesis 34:17. Hebrew has literally daughter. I do want to say that there must be some kind of error here, because Shechem said to her father and to her brothers, unless it reads as if Shechem is the her, but really Shechem is saying it to her father and her brothers. If you came here for the reading of the Bible, there you have it. If you are staying for the commentary, wow. Wow. Now let's first talk about the church version of this story. Didn't they tell us in church or in Christianity that Jacob, also known as Israel, after he wrestled with the man, not an angel, that Jacob was the hero? Isn't that what we were taught? We were taught in Christianity that Jacob is a good guy. And now we have seen through multiple deceits that Jacob is not a good guy. That's first. And that it is generational, because like father, like son, because Simeon and Levi, and they come up with a plan to deceive, kill, plunder, and take people as slaves. We're supposed to think that's a good thing. Jacob, who is the father of all these kids, right? So Leah is the mother, Jacob's first wife, right? Leah is the mother of Simeon, Levi, Dinah. Now, didn't they also tell us in church? Yes, they told us this in church, right? Didn't they also tell us in church that Dinah was raped? Isn't that what they told us in church? That's not what it says. If we read what it says that he loved her and they were in a passionate love tryst. They were in a passionate love affair. He didn't rape her. They were mad because they had sex before they got married. He didn't rape her. Let's look at it again. Because this is what they told us in Christianity. This is what they told me anyway. I don't know anyone else. Did they tell you when they told you this story? Yeah, those evil men, that evil Shechem, he raped, he defiled Dinah, he laid with Dinah, and he raped her. He didn't rape her. Well, at least that's what they told me in the Christian in JW cult. No, him and Dinah were having a passionate love affair. Now, because, well, let's just read it. Let's just read what it says. He keeps saying how he loved her so much. And it is the trope all over again, that she's so beautiful and somebody sees her and they want her. It's the same Rebecca. It's the same Sarah, Rebecca trope. Let's go. Here it says, Dinah. Let's go to Dinah. Chapter 33. Let's go to 34. Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob. She went out, she was hanging out with the people, and they said that was a problem. Dinah was hanging out with the people in the land rather than being with her own people. That's one of the things they say. He took Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her. He took her, lay with her, and humbled her. His soul joined to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the young lady and spoke kindly to the young lady. And then he said, give me this young lady as a wife. So they weren't angry because he raped her. Even the subtitle in the Bible says the rape of Dinah. Isn't that interesting? Yet, if you read it, it doesn't say that he raped her and then he loved her. It said he was loved. He said his soul was joined up with her. Like, if we just read it, it's a love story. It's not a rape. They called it a rape because she and he had sex before they were actually married. And they were just angry. Why? Because they didn't get the dowry yet. They didn't get the money. So what happened? Simeon and Levi, Dinah's hot-headed brothers, hatched a plan. Even the AI agrees with me. Hatched a plan to make all the men super vulnerable. Now, yeah. Let's think about this. How can we get them? Okay, let's all be circumcised. Now, maybe the circumcision idea was honest. Maybe that was an honest plot. Yet I don't think it was, because I think in the Bible it says, let's go back one again on screen share. I think it says here in the Bible that it was a plan. It was a trickery. It was trickery from the beginning. Let's see. Let me find favor in you. Whatever you tell me. And his son. Oh, okay. There it is. The sons up. There it is. There is the deceit. The sons of Jacob answered Shechem. Shechem came to his father and said, now he's a prince. So, he probably is in his princely ideas that if he wants this wife and he's in love with this wife, he's going to go to his father. Please, father, get me this. Please have this woman be my wife. I love this woman. So the father goes to the father of Dinah and says, my son, he loves this woman. He loves your daughter. Please, come on, let's let them get married. And how about, instead of you living over there, you're so separate from us. Hey, let's get together. Your sons and our daughters can get married and back and forth. Let's join together. The sons of Jacob answered with deceit when they spoke. They had already hatched the plan that they were going to tell the men to all be circumcised, and when they were vulnerable and could not fight because all their ding dongs were sore and they didn't have strength and they were laid out and couldn't do anything, then Simeon and Levi come in with the sword, and their bunch come in with the sword, kill all of them. Kill all of them? Well, that's pretty graphic and pretty gory. Kill all of them? How come they didn't just kill the one who slept with the daughter? If you didn't like that, okay, just kill him and his father maybe and his brothers. No, killed all the men. Then, but it's not over yet. Killed all the men. Then, this is a bad story. Does anyone think this is a good story? This is a very bad story. People ought stop making excuses for the Bible and claiming righteous indignation when the Bible is telling horrific stories that ought not to be lauded and applauded. We ought not applaud murderers, mass serial killers, who then plunder and took all the wives for themselves, took all the children. Y'all gonna be our servants. We just killed your father. And now you're gonna be, and your husband, and now you're gonna be our servants. And took all the wealth. And supposedly, they made this story seem like Jacob was the hero. Jacob was justified. Why? Because when you serve an angry, warring God, you will become an angry, warring person because you become what you revere. See, for me, God is love. And these beings that are in the Bible have nothing to do with God. Did God tell them to do that? The infinite source of the entire cosmos told them to do that? Hell no. Now, I will give you another clue. Notice that they said the Elohim of Israel, didn't say the Elohim of the world. Let's look. Didn't say the God of the world. So far, nothing we have read in the Bible tells us that this is the God of the whole world. Not one thing. And we have witnessed the creation of humanity, supposedly, and not one thing that we have read thus far in these 34 chapters of Genesis speaks of God. Not one thing. Okay, let's go to the gods. I believe it's in 33. We're going to look. And I love, first of all, I do love the reunion of Jacob and Esau. Oh, it was like a cry fest. It's such a good story, even if it never happened. It's a great story. All right. El Elohi Israel. Genesis chapter 33, verse 20. Let's look it up in the interlinear Bible. Scriptureforall.org. Let's drop it in the chat so that we can do our own investigation of what did the Bible originally say. And there is a super chat. I want to honor the super chat. Come on, super chat. Let me see what you're saying. Video game controller jumps up and down excitedly. Okay. Another super chat here. Shiba dog dressed in a traditional outfit waving Japanese fans. I love that. And thank you for the $15. I don't know at all what you're talking about. Yeah. Thanks for the super chats. Okay, let's go to this comment right now. They have been forgiven by Esau, but they won't forgive the people in whose land they are living. Whoa, wait a minute. You just said a word right there. You just said a word right there. That's fascinating. That Esau had forgiven his brother for all the deceit and the trickery, tricking him out of his birthright, tricking him out of his inheritance, trickery and deceit with their father, who was old and died and blind and couldn't hardly see, and Jacob making off with the inheritance. Esau forgave all of that. Yet, I didn't even think of that. Jacob's sons will not forgive. I didn't even think of that. That is profound. That is profound. Wow. It's a bizarre story. It's a bizarre story. Okay, let's go to scriptureforall.org so we can see El Elohi and what that means. Because people are going to think it's another name for God, and it is not. Genesis chapter 34, verse 17. No, verse 20. No. Genesis chapter 33, verse 20. That's where we're going. Genesis. We're going to go to the Hebrew English Interlinear Bible. And we're going to go to Genesis chapter 33. And we're going to go to verse 20 so we can see what it says in Hebrew. I don't read Hebrew. That's why this is a tremendous help for me. And he erected there an altar and called it Elohi-Israel. El of Elohim of Israel. The Elohim of Israel, not Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. Remember the documentary hypothesis by Bible scholars that said these were different stories cobbled together. And in some of the stories, there were Elohim stories. It was the Elohim of Israel. It was the Elohim of Jacob and his family. It wasn't the Elohim of everyone. And we saw this because when Rachel left and she took the teraphim from her father's house, they had different gods. This is the Elohim of Israel, which means Jacob, also known as Israel, his 12 sons and his daughters. the Elohim of Israel. It doesn't say the Elohim of the whole world. This is a regional, this is a God of a particular family. This is their Elohim, also known as Anunnaki. Okay? Didn't know how to give. It's my first time. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. The next thing I want to say is this. They say that the Bible denigrates women. They say that women have no influence in the Bible. They say the Bible is patriarchal. They say that women are not powerful in the Bible. That's a lie. I reject it roundly. And the entire scenario happened because of one woman. The entire slaughter, genocide, whatever we want to call it, mass killing of all these men of this particular tribe, if it ever happened, it's likely this story never happened. It's a pretty gory story. This mass incident of mass killing, plunder of wives and children, and theft of all the wealth that these other people had accumulated all happened because of one woman, Dinah. Dinah's love affair and her crazy brothers. It all happened because of a woman. Why do people not understand what it says it in plain English? Why do people not understand what we're talking about? Why is that? In the scripture for all, the verse about Dinah, chapter 34, 2, the word is translated as he humiliating her. That's what it is. And what does humiliating mean? Humiliating or humbled her. It doesn't mean that he raped her, because from the context we can tell this was not a rape from the context. Everything in the context is telling us that it's not a rape. This man loves her. This man is so in love with her. If we wash out of our brains what they told us, now, could it be that they said he humiliated her because he had sex with her before they got married, which is a violation of their protocol, their what should happen, their we got to do this our way? First, a control of the sexuality of the people, not just the woman, the man too. This was about control of male sexuality also, not just female sexuality. So I'm going to look this up, dear. This is an excellent, excellent point of the humiliation. What does it mean? And doesn't mean it was against her will. Nothing in it read to me like she didn't want to do this. She's out there hanging out with him. Do we know why she was even hanging out there? Were her and him talking all along? We don't know. Were they out there? Was she out? Because she was going out there frequently, right? Because they said she would go out and hang out with the family, people, the daughters of Shechem. And, or in other words, she was associating with them. So do we know how it happened? Do we know when he was talking to her? Do we know? I'm talking about this story like it really happened, and this story probably never happened. I just want to make sense of the story. And I want to erase from my mind, I want to rub out from my mind the things that they taught me in Christianity that are just not true if I had read it for myself. Dear, this is an excellent point, and I am going to look that up so that we can know for sure, and then I'll know by tomorrow, so that we can know for sure what does this word mean. And I want to check into Bible scholars and see what they're saying about this. What does it mean? And was this actually a violation of Dinah, or was this an insult to the family? Those are two different things. Those are two very different things. I agree. So let's convene tomorrow morning and find out what is really going on here and continue in the story. These stories are absolutely phenomenal. And I want to say something else, not because I believe the stories are true. They're not true. For me, no. They're phenomenal because, wow, these are the stories we grew up with. If you grew up in the Christian experience, I did. These are stories that have enraptured me for decades. I mean, I was knee high to a grasshopper, and they were telling me these stories. And now I can finally decode these stories, find the value in them, and love these stories in a different way. I now love these stories in a very different way than I did when I was a child and they told us these stories. Actually, I didn't love the stories when I was a child. Let me correct that. I Some of the stories were horrifying, like that killed all the people. And why do we think it's a good idea to put these horrifying stories in front of little children? They killed all the men. Ooh, but you wouldn't let your kids, your little children watch Game of Thrones. But you wouldn't let your little children read the Bible. Ooh. I mean, I think the Bible ought not be in hands of minors. That's just my take on it. The thing is gory. It's gory, it's bloodery, it's bloody, it's murderous, it's revenge. You have a great revenge story here. It's revenge. Because really, is it first it's deceit to get revenge, then it's bloodthirsty revenge. Having sex with our sister. Ugh. Settle down. I know back in the day that was a big deal. I'm going to say something to the men that may be shocking. Maybe some of these women weren't virgins when you married them, but you just didn't know one way or the other. See, because there's something I want to say about women's sexuality. It's very hidden. It's very covert. You don't really know what's going on with women. You don't know if this woman is really a virgin. You know, they say they have signs. Maybe not. You can't always trust those signs. You also don't really know if the woman is enjoying the sex that she's having or if she's bored out of her mind. Because women are great actresses. You don't know if the woman had an orgasm or not, even though we know men have orgasms. We know when the man has an orgasm because it's very evident. You don't really know when women have orgasms because there are some women that are good actresses. I mean, I've been there. I've been there. You know, just to get this thing, let's bring this thing to a conclusion. Let's bring this thing to a head. Pardon the pun. Now, if I was enjoying it, hey, let's go. If it was just really not what I felt like doing in the moment, or if it was just, you know, hey, I got other better things to do than this. Yeah, I faked an orgasm. Yes, baby, yes. And he felt good, and I felt good, and it's over. Isn't that somewhat of a lie? I don't do that no more because now I know how to have. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get mine, and yours, and we're gonna do this together. This is gonna be amazing, right? Or I have some very wonderful toys that can get the job done, or my hands can get the job done, right? I didn't mean to be too graphic. This is a morning show. This is a family friendly show. So, do men really know what's going on with women and their sexuality? Not all the time. Maybe sometimes, not all the time. So, I'm just saying, how many of them women were getting married and they were not virgins, and maybe they had trysts, and maybe they had love affairs? We don't know. We don't know. that's that's what I'm here for. I've always wanted to study the history behind these stories. Thank you for including us in the researching. I'm grateful to be with like minded people. Oh, Dia, I love that. And I love you too, Dia. So happy we're doing this together. And I gotta tell you something, family. It makes it so much more fun for me for us to do this together than reading the Bible myself. I promise you. I have read whole chunks of the Bible. I have read the Bible and read the Bible, read the Bible. I never fulfilled my promise to myself to wake up on January 1st and read the entire Bible through in that year or that year and some months. I just have never gone straight through it like that. I've read whole chunks of it. One time I sat down and I read the entire book of Psalms in one setting. It was incredible. I had the inspiration to read. Now, we've read a lot of the Psalms, I've read Proverbs, I've read all those books. Yet, to read it straight through like a novel, because it's pretty much a collection of novels. Just read it straight through. It hits completely differently. It hits completely differently. Oh, I'm so happy we're doing this together. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy we're doing this together. Reverend Evelyn, how you loving? How you loving? How you loving? Oh my goodness. I can't have a family without sex. I know that's right. Isn't that the truth? I mean, and you know what's really fascinating about it? People were having a lot of sex. People have a lot of sex right now. It's what humans do. People have sex. And what's wrong with that? And the whole idea of Christianity putting that morality clamp down on sex made a lot of the things in the Hebrew Bible very strange. Very strange. Whereas if Christianity did not have the morality clamp down on sex, people would be freer. We wouldn't be having the issues that we're having now with Donnie McClurkin. God bless him. I hope it turns out okay. However, if he did something out of pocket, then he's going to get karma for that. That's just the way it is. And I also cannot ignore that he lives in a system that has so clamped down on sex and clamped down on sexual expression that when you are in that system and you try your best to conform and you cannot, aberration will happen. Anytime you have a suppression, you are creating aberration. Just has to happen that way. Just has to happen that way. That's why we have priests in the Catholic Church sleeping with altar boys, because you told these priests not to have children, not to have sex. Why? Did they tell them not to have sex because there's anything in the Bible that says that you shouldn't have sex? Even if it was, we know the Bible's not from God, so it doesn't matter. Did anyone ever tell you that God doesn't want you to have sex? It didn't say that. If anything, the Bible said, be fruitful and multiply. However, the whole idea of sex being, a problem, and the priests not being able to have sex has led to two horrific experiences. I'll tell you the two horrific experiences. Now, why did they tell them they couldn't have sex in the first place before I tell you these two horrific experiences? They told the Catholic priests that they couldn't have sex because the Roman Catholic Church was losing land. It was about land. It wasn't about anything else. Why? Because the parish priest would be there. He would be married, have his kids. When he had his kids got the land, and maybe his kids would inherit the land. And maybe his kids weren't Catholic priests at all. And the Roman Catholic Church just lost that land. They couldn't let all this land that they had conquered and plundered from the people who were there first. They couldn't let all that land go. So they had to get together in their room and say, okay, we're losing ground here, people. What's the solution? What's the solution? Well, how is this happening? Well, the priests are getting married and then they're having kids. And 50 years later, we don't have the land anymore because the priest died and now his kids have the land. And they want to turn it into something else other than a church or whatever. Uh, oh, let's stop the priest from getting married. Great idea. You get 2 points for that. Come on, Bishop. Great idea. Now, how are we going to do that? How are we going to tell priests to stop getting married? Which is, hey, we'll tell them God said it. We'll find some scriptures in the Bible. Now, this is my Gnostic Bible that I'm holding. It wasn't in here. We'll just find something in here. We'll do what we always do, said another one. We'll make the shit up. We've been doing that for hundreds of years, thousands of years. People believe us. If we just keep saying it, they'll believe us. Okay. What scriptures are we going to cobble together so the priests can't get married anymore? Oh, I don't know. I got to do a little bit of thumbing through these scrolls and see what I can come up with. Okay, well, you come up with why the priests can't get married. You're going to be the propaganda person because you're good with words. You got to write it out. I decree proclamation something from the Pope, you can't get married anymore. And then we'll how about we tell them they can't get married and they can't have sex either? Oh wow, this is gonna, man. Oh, but we got a lot of whores up in here, you know? The bishops had more whores than most people. We got a lot of women up in here. Do we have to get rid of all our women? No, we don't have to get rid of our women. They are gonna see, we're good. Oh, okay. Phew, you scared me for a minute there, Bishop so and so. Bishop so and so, make the propaganda machine, get the propaganda machine going to get the people, get them in the mind. And then we're going to tell the priest, you have to be celibate, you have to only be for God. Okay, but wait a minute. What about the women? Because we got all the nuns. Oh, right. We can't tell the priest not to have sex and the nuns can still have sex. Okay, that settles it. We have to tell the nuns they can't have sex either. Yes, yes. All in favor? Aye, aye, aye. Okay, so the priests can't have sex. The nuns can't have sex, but we can still have sex, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to keep our women. Don't worry about that part. I mean, come on. Don't be ridiculous. All right. Put it out there. Let's put it on. Let's seal the deal and put this in writing, shall we? Next thing you know, priests can't have sex. So the dudes, the boss dudes got in a room, but they had their women. The boss dudes got in a room and made the shit up from what they wanted. Well, it led to two horrific aberrations. One is that the children, altar boys, so you put these men who cannot have children around little boys all the time. Who thought that was a good idea? You put these horny ass men, and all they got around them is these little boys. What do you think is going to happen? Like, no one thought this through. That's why the Catholic Church has paid out millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to these children, altar boys, and all these children that have been molested by priest after priest after priest after. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. Why? Yes, the priests were aberrant. Yes, they were. And the priests are it. So, yes, you can say, priest, you need to take responsibility for that, and they will get the karma for it. And we cannot excuse the bigger system that created that aberration. The second horror, they say in a lot of monasteries where the nuns are, out back are a lot of buried babies. So clearly, the priests are having sex. The nuns are having sex with the priest of the place or whatever. It's basically a harem. It's basically a sanctioned harem. And I'm not saying all of them are. Definitely not. I'm saying enough of them are. And you put this one horny man in there with all these women that are also not having sex. And you're going to tell me that none of them ever thought to have sex with each other. The women didn't think about having sex with him, and the women didn't think about having sex with each other, and the women didn't think about having sex with him, and he didn't think about having sex with any of them. Is that what the story is? Yet we have evidence that in the back of many monasteries, buried in the back of monasteries, they had found bones of infants. These women were having babies or abortions or miscarriages or whatever you want to call it. However, the baby bones got there, baby, somebody was having sex. Someone was having sex like people normally do. That's what we do. It's a human urging, a human natural expression, a human. It's like eating, breathing. Sex is like all of the things that humans do. And what happened? The Catholic Church made it evil to control not just the people's sexuality. They're not controlling only the women, All those people that are talking about patriarchy, patriarchy, patriarchy. No, they are controlling the women and the men. They are controlling that. Control knows no gender. They want to control every damn thing. For what? For reach, for power, control, land, wealth. That should be obvious. Look at the Vatican. That should be obvious. I've been to the Vatican twice. I promise you, when I walked into the cathedral there, it felt like a mausoleum. I couldn't. I was so looking forward to going to the Vatican, St. Peter's Basilica. I was so looking forward to going to the Vatican. When I first saw the Vatican, tears came to my eyes, not because I revere the Vatican. I don't, trust me. In the same way that tears came to my eyes when I first saw the Eiffel Tower, like, like these things are so iconic that when you are like the pyramids of Giza, like, or the Sphinx, like the first time you see it, it's like, oh, you feel that. Like the first time I saw the Nile River, I'm like, oh, that's the Nile River. Not because I'm worshiping the Nile River, or I think the Nile River is so much better than any other river. No, it's because of the stories attached to the Nile River. St. Peter's Basilica, it's here. I went in that place. Kid you not, it felt like a mausoleum. Felt like a mausoleum. That was very interesting. I kept checking the energy level. It felt old, cold, and dead. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know. Go to the Vatican. If you've been to the Vatican, please tell us in the comments what it felt like to you. What was your experience of the Vatican? I can't tell you what your experience will be. I tell you what my experience is. And then, because I was in Rome, I love Rome. I love Rome. It's old and new at the same time. Super old. Like you could be walking by and there's like this 3,000-year-old wall that's still there. It's amazing. Next to a brand new cafe. Would you like a latte? Next to some pizza. Like Rome is an amazing, amazing place. I went into just a regular neighborhood church that was more lit up with spirit that you could feel it than the Vatican. It was a regular church. Well, granted, there is like a Catholic church on every other block in Rome. However, I'm exaggerating. However, when I went into like a regular, it's churches everywhere, veneration of Mother Mary everywhere, and the Mother Mary with the baby. And when I went into these, like, it could be like I'm just walking by and I just go into a church because I just love how people worship. And I would go into this church, and it would be all the church doors just open. Go in anytime. And you just walk in, like you get your latte and you drink your latte, and then you go into the church. And you walk into the church, and up front, there's this Mother Mary shrine. When I tell you a shrine, I mean it will put some of these witches' shrines to shame. How they build these shrines to Mother Mary. Fresh flowers all over the thing. Fresh flowers, the water, the altar, the baby Jesus. And she's sitting there like this. And you trying to tell me Christians don't have a goddess? Oh my God. Can you go into a Catholic church? Of course, Christians have goddesses. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. Christians have goddesses. Of course they do. And you would go, and some of these altars would just make you weep. And people would be in there, having a silent moment, meditative moment, a prayerful moment. In the back would be holy water. And then, yes, I'm going to scoop up some of that holy water because witches, I'm a Christian witch. I use that holy water. Baby, I'm always buying holy water from churches. Yes, I do. Give me that holy water. Why? Because when you pray over water, you speak over water, it changes the molecular structure of the water. Thank you, Dr. Emoto. That water is different from water you get out of your faucet. I have water from the sacred springs in Bali, Turta and Pool, where we are going in August on retreat. Go to ValerieLove.com. I'll drop the link. I have water from that sacred spring. I want to show you pictures of that sacred spring because you will, ooh, a reptilian haven. Ooh, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, they're very occult. They're super occult. and they're super, it's very creepy. I don't want to say creepy because it does have some parts that are, let me find this Turtle and Pool Temple for you. We do have some, hold on, let me pay attention to what I'm doing. Bali, Bali, Bali. Because as you can see, I got 50 million pictures in here because Soul Excursions, Bali, Radiant Soul Retreat. There it is. Now, we're going to Bali, and are we on screen share? Yes, we're on screen share because sometimes, I take off. So this was our villa where we stayed. Um, as you can see, absolutely magnificent. That's a view from upstairs. It was so magnificent that I did a live stream from there, and I got up to go upstairs and people said, "Oh my goodness, that's real." We thought that that was a background. I was like, "No, this is real." I mean, AI got so many people so fooled, and people do so many fake backgrounds that if you are really in a beautiful place, people question it. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so let's go back. This is the place. And I was sitting right here doing a live stream. You can find it here on my channel. And I got up to go up these stairs and literally people, it was either a Zoom or a live stream. They were like, "Oh my goodness, that's real." So anyway, hold on. Let me get you to Turtle and Pool. I want to get you to that springs because just so many amazing, that's the catch dance, the fire dance that we go to. We take you to that, and then photo shoots. Here it is. Here it is. This is Turtle and Pool Temple. Okay. All right. Now let's show you these waters. You must go in with a sarong. You cannot go in with your regular clothes. You must be in a sarong. Do you see these waters? Now, each spring, and here's some of our retreat attendees right here. We're taking you there. Each spring purifies a different aspect of your being. Some are for ancestors, some are for getting rid of illness and disease, some are for a family, some are for love life, all of that. And when you go in, do you see all these different people? Do you see these people lined up? I'm talking people from all over the world. Japanese people, Chinese people, Indian people, Black people, white people, Asian people, people all over Bali. That's me coming out of the springs. And I have my own sarong. And as you can see, you come out like so clean. It is just incredible how much gunk, like the energy of the water is just look how clean and amazing that we look, right? And so you dunk your head under. Let me get you a video. There's me again, right there. Just it is, I mean, it's insane. Boom. And you the whole thing. Now, why do I show you this? Why do I show you this? I'm showing you this. Oh my goodness, you've got to come with us to Bali. It is insanely beautiful. You'll be crying every day. There's temples everywhere, the food, the flowers. It is magnificent. If you are wanting to come with us to Bali, the next travel Zoom is coming up where I'll be teaching 11 occult secrets of Egypt. So you want to go to valerielove.com and just join us on any of our live Zooms. That Zoom, I've had to change the date because of my schedule and travel. Just pop your name and email address in here and you will be notified of that live Zoom. And when we do our live Zooms, we always do, oh, let me give you the link to this. When we do our live Zooms, we always offer some kind of special. So the pricing on the website will be different than the pricing on the Zoom. Hold on, because we like to give some kind of special. So let's go to valerielove.com/Bali. Because we've gone there quite a bit. Oh, it's lowercase. I have all caps on. valerielove.com Bali. Okay, let's get you this link. Copy. It tells you all about Bali. So if you're coming with us to Bali this year, and if you're coming with us to Egypt this year, those are the two huge retreats this year, Bali and Egypt. And if you come with us, if you're a globetrotter, you know that you don't pay retreat fees. You only pay for the expenses of the retreat itself. So usually the price for globetrotters is usually about half or about 40% off. So globetrotters save a tremendous amount of money. So if you're coming with us to Bali, so let me get back to this water. I have water from Turta Impul Temple that I collected at the mouth of the sacred spring. Now, where you see all the springs coming through, that is on the other side of where the actual springs come out of the ground. I mean, it is incredible. And you see the actual springs coming out of the ground, and it's just so people come, they collect like whole jugs of that water. You see Balinese people coming and collecting bottles of it. They come with receptacles because they know that water. Because the molecules in that water are different. So, do I get holy water from churches? Absolutely. Do I get water from temples? Absolutely. Do I have Nile River water? Absolutely. Absolutely. Carla, Bali is going to be amazing. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So hop on the Zoom with us and you'll find out all about Bali and Egypt. So I want to conclude with this for our conversation today, for our commentary for today. If we remove the filter that church gave us about the Bible and read the Bible on its own merits, we see that it is not God's proclamation to us. It is a collection of literature telling us stories, and it's telling you stories without telling you what to believe about the stories or what to think about the stories. It's simply telling you stories. And Abraham said this, and then he said this, and then she said this, and then they did this, and then he did this, and then this one killed this one, and this one killed this one. It's a narrator, it's telling you stories. Nothing says you have to live by the stories. We were fooled, we were hoodwinked. And now it's time to let go of the hoodwinkery. I love you. Mwah. Peace. Reverend Valerie Love, ValerieLove.com.